Football is a sport of legends. Names like Pelé, Maradona, Messi, and Ronaldo dominate the history books. But what if we told you that one of the greatest to ever play the game isn't mentioned in the same breath? What if we told you that the most technically gifted, dominant, and game-changing player wasn't a man? This is the story of Marta Vieira da Silva, the undisputed queen of football. She didn't just score goals, she shattered barriers. She didn't just win trophies, she fought for an entire generation of female players to have a future in the game. But her journey was never easy. From being denied the chance to play as a child, to battling for equal pay and respect in a sport dominated by men, Marta's fight was never just about football. It was about equality, representation, and proving that greatness has no gender. And just wait till later in this video when we tell you about the powerful speech that brought the world to tears. This is the story of Marta, the woman who changed football forever. Humble beginnings. Football wasn't for girls. Marta was born on February 19, 1986, in Dois Riachos, a small rural town in Brazil where football was considered a man's game. It was a town with one paved road, very few opportunities, and deeply rooted traditions, one of them being that girls did not play football. From an early age, she displayed an extraordinary talent for the sport, but there was one problem. There were no girls' teams, no female football idols to look up to, and no real opportunities. As a child, she played barefoot in the dusty streets with boys, often using plastic bags wrapped into a ball when they didn't have a proper football. She was mocked, laughed at, and constantly told to stop. Many adults in her town, including teachers and even her own family members, warned her that football wasn't a girl's sport, but nothing could stop her. Her first real challenge came when she tried to join local boys' teams. Coaches flat out refused to let her play, saying, "Football is not for girls. Go play with dolls." But Marta was relentless. She would show up anyway, waiting for a chance. Eventually, some of the boys on the team started supporting her, saying that she was better than most of them. And slowly, she forced her way onto the pitch. Even her mother, who worked multiple jobs to support Marta and her siblings, was worried about her future. Women's football in Brazil was nearly non-existent. "There's no career in this. What will you do when you grow up?" her mother once asked. But Marta had already made up her mind. She was going to become a professional footballer, no matter what it took. The breakthrough, from local talent to international superstar. At the age of 14, Marta's life changed. A scout from Vasco da Gama, a professional club in Rio de Janeiro, had heard about a girl playing against boys and dominating. He decided to take a chance on her. She packed her bags and left her small town behind, moving to the big city alone, without her family, without money, and with only one goal: to prove she belonged. At Vasco da Gama, she trained harder than anyone. She was earning almost nothing. The facilities were poor, and she faced constant discrimination from coaches and male players who believed women had no place in the sport. But she refused to quit. Despite her raw talent, women's football in Brazil was so underdeveloped that even top clubs had little funding. After Vasco da Gama shut down their women's team, Marta had to move from club to club, struggling to find a stable career. Her real breakthrough came when she moved to Sweden in 2004 to join Umeå IK, a dominant club in European women's football. This was where the world finally saw Marta for who she was, a once-in-a-generation talent. She didn't just adapt to the European game, she dominated it, leading Umeå to multiple titles and quickly becoming one of the best players in the world, breaking records and making history. Marta's list of achievements is staggering. She became the all-time leading goal scorer in the FIFA Women's World Cup, surpassing even the greatest male players. She won the FIFA World Player of the Year award 6 times, more than Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo had at the time. She led Brazil to multiple Copa America titles and took them to the finals of the 2007 Women's World Cup, coming heartbreakingly close to winning it all. Even though Brazil lost, Marta's performance was legendary, scoring stunning goals, humiliating defenders, and showing the world that women's football was just as exciting as men's. Her playing style was mesmerizing. She had the dribbling ability of Ronaldinho, the finishing of Ronaldo Nazario, and the vision of Pelé. Even Pelé himself recognized her greatness, famously calling her Pelé in skirts. But despite all these accolades, Marta's biggest battle was still ahead: the fight for respect, investment, and equality in women's football. The fight for equal pay and respect. Marta was the best female footballer in the world, but her salary was lower than what many average male players made in Brazil. While male superstars were signing contracts worth hundreds of millions, Marta and her teammates were often forced to play for peanuts. For years, she watched as women's teams were given poor training facilities, minimal sponsorships, and almost no media coverage. While the Brazilian men's team had luxury hotels, chartered flights, and massive endorsement deals, the women's team often had to fight just to get decent uniforms. Marta refused to stay silent. She became an outspoken advocate for equal pay, demanding that FIFA and national federations invest in women's football, not just as a side project, but as a serious sport. And slowly things began to change. But perhaps her most powerful moment came at the 2019 Women's World Cup. After Brazil was eliminated, Marta delivered a speech that shook the world. With tears in her eyes, she looked directly into the camera and sent a message to the next generation. Women's football depends on you to survive. Think about it. Value it more. Cry at the beginning so you can smile at the end. It wasn't just a speech, it was a battle cry, inspiring the next generation more than just a footballer. Marta's impact on football cannot be measured by statistics alone. Yes, she holds records, won individual awards, and mesmerized fans with her skills. But her influence extends far beyond what she did on the pitch. She inspired an entire generation of female footballers to believe that they too could have a future in the game. Before Marta, young girls who dreamed of playing professional football often had no role models, no career path, and no real hope of making a living in the sport. Women's football existed, but it was underfunded, overlooked, and treated as secondary to the men's game. Marta's relentless pursuit of greatness and her refusal to accept inequality helped change that narrative. Players like Alex Morgan, Sam Kerr, Ada Hegerberg, and Megan Rapinoe have openly credited Marta as one of the pioneers who paved the way for their careers. When these younger stars watched Marta dominate World Cups, fight for equal treatment, and prove that women's football was just as thrilling as the men's game, they saw what was possible. And today, thanks to trailblazers like Marta, we are witnessing real progress in women's football. Higher salaries for female footballers, reducing the massive pay gap. More sponsorship deals as brands recognize the growing market for women's football. Expanded women's leagues across Europe, North America, and South America, giving more opportunities for professional careers. A rapidly growing fan base that is proving that women's football is not just a trend, it's here to stay. Marta didn't just inspire a few players, she helped transform the entire sport. The legacy of a true champion. Even in her late 30s, Marta continues to compete at the highest level, proving that passion and talent have no expiration date. While many players slow down with age, she remains a key figure for both her club and the Brazilian national team, showcasing the same dribbling skills, creativity, and leadership that made her a legend. But beyond her on-field performances, her true impact lies in what she has done for the game itself. Marta isn't just a footballer, she's a leader, a role model, and a symbol of progress. She has used her platform to demand change, push for equality, and ensure that the next generation of female players will have better opportunities than she did. She has never been afraid to speak out, whether it's calling for more investment in women's football, demanding respect for female athletes, or inspiring young girls to chase their dreams. She carries the weight of an entire movement on her shoulders, and yet, she never backs down. Her story isn't just about football, it's about breaking barriers, defying expectations, and rewriting history. She wasn't just the best female footballer of her time, she was one of the greatest players, period. Her achievements stand alongside legends like Pelé, Maradona, Messi, and Ronaldo, proving that greatness knows no gender. And thanks to her relentless fight, the future of women's football has never been brighter. The foundations she helped build are now paving the way for new stars, players who no longer have to fight as hard for recognition because Marta already led the charge. So the next time someone talks about football's greatest legends, make sure they mention Marta, because she didn't just play the game, she changed it forever.